Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Every time I start talking about boxing, a white man got full rockin' my gun out there.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Oh, this hard goddamn work being this good.
One more again, see what I take on your front side, I swear.
You ain't my daddy, are you?
There's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
What time is it? Game time.
Okay, welcome again to the Don't Be Blasé podcast. We're coming to you live from the House of Pain, otherwise known as Snap Fitness in the Adelaide CBD. I'm your host, Speed Caruana, joined as always by my man, Steve Burrows.
How you going, Speed?
Very good, thanks, Steve.
That's good to hear.
This is just very formal to start with. Very nicely done. Before we get started, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Larry and Lad. Go see the boys in Region Arcade, get yourself an awesome coffee, listen to some pretty sweet tunes. But for now, on with the show. Now, Steve-o,
Yo.
we're going to start off with everyone's favourite.
Yeah.
There's been a few agitated people.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's going to time to, this is when everyone, because we have a very negative crowd.
Yeah.
I think we've almost started it. It's our fault. We have a negative crowd, and we're going to introduce some of the Shit Bloke Awards.
Many are born flogs, but only a select few are truly eligible for the Shit Bloke Awards. With your host, Spee Caruana.
That's right, your host, Speed Caruana, he's here. In the flesh, baby. Have you got any votes for us, Steve? Actually, you know what? Before you get into your votes,
Okay,
Steve,
yeah.
we have a phone a friend.
Okay.
So one of them, actually, I think to help the leaderboard along,
Yep.
we have a new, well, not a new second place, but someone is firming into second place,
Okay.
and that's me.
Yeah, okay.
One from our man Lyle, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah.
He has nominated me today because Lyle has a bad knee and ankle, and I know this because I'm his personal trainer. And I decided when he joined my boxing class, we're going to do a lot of running. So he looked at me today, mid-session, like mid-boxing, just looks at me and goes, mate, this is vote worthy.
There's one vote.
So I'll put myself.
one?
Yeah, just one.
Okay.
I know he doesn't want to rake me over the coals.
Yeah.
And I still don't want to pass Kevin Durant. He's on the clubhouse leader at 9, but I've moved into 8
Yep.
with one vote from Lyle. Now we've got my man, Tim Cooper, one long-time listener, first-time caller. He's nominated. He's done his 3-2-1. I love when the people get their 3-2-1s in. We like, and then he's got reasons why. Number 1, B. Cousins.
Yeah.
So a former Brownlow medalist is copying it. He goes, for still getting the record for most possessions despite not playing for 7 odd years. I'm a big fan of that. Ben Cousins has now turned into an absolute mess.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, he takes a lot of drugs, he plays footy, he's really good at it. And then, he loves a party, who doesn't? Now it's just kind of like, mate, pull your life together. Like, it's one of those sad stories. Like, and the problem is, because the documentary got made, and I don't know anyone that can remember the second half of the documentary, the next night, because it was played over 2 nights on Channel 7. Everyone remembers the first night when he's like partying and falling over and he's an absolute mess and everyone goes, there's many cousins that we know. No one cared so much about the second one, about the redemption story. And I think that's a problem. Like, every time he'd be seen in public, everyone would be like, hey, mate, come on, let's give it a nudge. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that everyone wants. Everyone wants to fire him up. And unfortunately, this is where he is now. He's been done for possession again.
It's a sad story. It's like, did you ever see the Temptations movie? The band Temptations from the old Motown thing? The lead singer, I'm madly trying to Google it because I cannot remember his name.
On this show.
David Johnson. It's not David Johnson, but whoever he is. It's the same thing. If you watch that film, it's one of those daytime films over two nights of one of the greatest...
Daytime film over 2 nights.
Yeah, you got it.
That's
yes, the one.
That's an A out of 10.
A day. He what's his name? Griffin. Fucking whatever. It's a sad story because he was the lead singer of the Temptations. He's the one who sung "My Girl," "Ain't Too Proud to Beg," all those classic hits.
Turns out he isn't too proud.
Yeah. Well, you're on fire already. And he ended up becoming a drug addict.
Yeah.
And it doesn't end well for him, Speed.
Yeah,
it doesn't end well.
It's just it's a sad state when someone that sort of large gets caught in it, because the whole thing is, some people just like, and it's almost the Aussie spirit. People want to kind of give it a nudge. And so everyone will be like, let's just, let's egg him on. It's like, no, we don't really need to be doing that.
Yeah, it's very sad. And I do remember that that documentary, and it was quite confronting at times. Yeah, it was pretty hardcore. So, Benny, good on you. You're on the board with your one vote.
Well, that's not good on you. We're giving him one vote for being a shit bloke. But
well, no, but it's good for our segment, isn't
it?
Oh,
okay, it's good for our segment, and that's all we really care about. 2 votes. Michael Checker, the Wallabies head coach.
Okay.
He just wrote, enough said. Now, the problem with that, Tim, we don't know fuck all about rugby. And I'm going to wager a few of our guests, our listeners also don't know too much about rugby union, but we do know universally the Wallabies no good anymore. There was that golden era with like your John Eales and stuff like that, because that was always tied in at the same time. Wallabies were good and the Australian cricket team were good. They both seemed to be really good at the same time. So it was just like, do we win? Yep. Did we win? Yep. Go Australia. Now it's kind of like, cricket team's not great and they're cheating and Wallabies suck. All right, let's not watch rugby anymore. But how good are those All Blacks? You know, like, we love beating the All Blacks, but when the All Blacks win, it's just like, oh, well, we can't beat them. They're the best. You know, like, no one cares about that.
16 years or something we haven't won the Bledisloe Cup or something. Well, 16 years.
It's because rigged.
It's almost as long as my Pro Crows haven't won a premiership. It's almost as long.
My Blues are a bit longer than yours, so let's not get into that. And number 3, which is interesting because this is somewhat dated. He sent it to me yesterday, and this is Friday we are recording. And probably before we started recording, we had one Prime Minister, and after we finished recording, we got another one. So he's federal politics for being more interested in who's got the C on their jersey than who's actually running the country. And that is a very accurate representation because we have had a spill and we've got a new Prime Minister. This is fucked.
Yeah, actually, there was something happened early in the week, didn't they? Someone challenged.
Yep. Old Dutton, the human frog cake.
And didn't quite get there, but then they did another one. I was even unaware of it. I only heard it in lunchroom.
And so by the time this comes out, we'll all be hailing our new leader, Kodos, or ScoMo.
ScoMo. Yep.
But yeah, it's just ridiculous. Like, it's just become, like, I honestly believe if you vote for someone, the party, let them see out their term. I don't know if we shorten the terms to 3 years, but it's almost like now, like, you can't even finish a job because if you got halfway through the job and, old mate over here doesn't like what you're doing, then they're just going to vote you out halfway through. It's just like, how are you going to achieve real change if the second you go somewhat off script, everyone's going to vote you out? It's become ridiculous.
Yeah, I think the last Australian Prime Minister we had, I think, who did serve a full term was John Howard.
Yeah.
So how long ago was that? You know, that must have been same time we won the Bledisloe Cup.
Yeah,
I guess,
pretty much. Yeah, we've gone
early
ever since.
2000s,
Yeah, ever since he's gone out, it's been an absolute. And that was always like my thing. Like, I got a lot of mates that are Italian, and I get stuck into them because every 4 years, apparently they're not Australian anymore and they're Italian. Around World Cup, you know, standard. And I always just went, fucking, if you love Italy so much, go back to Italy. I said, your fucking politics are a mess. You guys change Prime Minister every fucking 10 minutes. One of your Prime Ministers is sleeping with underage girls. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Actually, I don't think I even need to say allegedly. I think God is going to get done for that. But anyway, we'll push that aside. But it's like, that was like sort of like, you guys, your country's, unstable. You're a fucking mess. That's the reason why everyone moved here. Now, we're just as bad, if not worse, because we're supposed to have our heads screwed on. We're supposed to have everything together, and it's now become like within their own parties, they're not even getting along.
Yeah, and it's so very reactive because I think it was a couple months ago when something happened. There was a vote, and they said, "Oh, the polls say this."
Yeah.
And when the vote came out, they're like, "What the fuck?" And they weren't even close to what the polls say. So I think what happens is that obviously these parties are getting so tied up with what the polls say and this, that, and the other, which may not have anything to do with actually how the country is feeling. By the way,
yeah, well, the thing is, like, it's. Look, I think the Batuta Advocate is our favourite newspaper from Queensland, which is somewhat of a parody account. But they've nailed it down perfectly. Bill Shorten is currently studying videos of Stephen Bradbury because the Labor leader is going to fall ass backwards into the Prime Ministership at the next election, because the whole thing that the Liberals ran on last time was like, look, fucking, you guys had Kevin, you voted out Kevin, brought in Julia, and then you voted out Julia and brought back Kevin. Yeah. Labor Party's a mess. And Liberal, no matter what, even though that Turnbull was sitting at 44% for preferred PM, Shorten was sitting at 28%.
Yeah.
No one voted for ScoMo. No one wanted Dutton. No one, wanted Julie Bishop. But these are the people that are now stepped into up into the forefront. But the thing is, no one voted for them. So now Liberal, who are probably going to win the next election, are now almost pretty much handing it to Labor because everyone's going to go, they're a fucking mess. Let's just do the other party.
So that's the thing. Do we vote for the Prime Minister or do we vote for the party that we want?
Well, now we're just voting for the party.
Yeah, that's right.
It's becoming a mess. And it's never even it's for a while now, the last few elections, it's been not so much, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to enact change. It's, they did this and their shit. And then the other party goes, well, they did this and their shit. It's like, well, what are you going to do, mate? Because you can't draw a line in the sand and say, this is what I'm going to do, because within your party, if not everyone agrees, they'll axe you. It's become trying to please all the people all the time. And there's the saying, you cannot please all the people all the time. It's just ridiculous.
That's right. I wonder if there's any Republicans in there thinking about Trump, whether they can do a bit of a leadership spiel. How's it work?
That guy sorted himself out royally. Because because they can impeach him, and they can move him on. That happens, and there's a possibility of that possibly happening because he has his lawyer has been found to have broken the law, and he's getting sent to jail.
Oh, no.
For it was something to do with the with their donations, party donations,
right,
they were illegal.
Okay.
Now the problem is, they said this guy, Mike Pence, is more right wing and more sort of out of control than Trump. So that's half their. They said Trump picked him on purpose because it was just like, right, you get rid of me, you got something worse, And so it's one of those things that's like, it's almost, you're better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. Sure. So I don't think he's going to be getting knocked out anytime soon. As annoying as he is, I still think he'll maintain. He'll do a full term. He won't think he'll do 2.
He's coming up halfway now.
Yeah.
So he must be in the job, 18, 19 months by
now?
No,
he's almost cracked, full 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years in January, I think.
So then, I honestly think he'll see out his full 4 years.
He'll probably get voted in again. Remember how much people complain about Bush? Oh, he's lousy. And he did 2 terms, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was retarded but harmless. He was just dumb. You can handle dumb. But when you've got an agenda to be fucking nasty, that's not what that doesn't fly. I know Trump's your boy. I know you're a big Trump fan.
I'm not enough of a Trump guy, but I'm just saying about it. Bush got in twice.
Yeah.
That's
the problem. The pendulum swings. Bush, Clinton was in twice, and then Bush got in twice. Yeah. And then it swung back to the Democrats. Obama did twice, and then it swung completely the other way again. I hope Trump doesn't get it twice, but I think you may have a point.
Yeah.
But I think we need to digress from this political talk because we have a crowd that likes a bit of poo-wee fart joke. So I think this is a bit too highbrow.
I know.
So we do have, once again, letter to the editor. Our man, quote-unquote, Greg.
He's back.
He's back. I like how you never check the messages. We get the inbox messages on our Facebook page, and Steve's like, I saw we got some messages from this people, this person. And he goes, I didn't get to see them. I'm like, because I answer all of them.
Yeah.
That's about it. So, dear Don't Be Blasé podcast, he's taking our names out.
Oh, is he in a good mood or a bad mood?
I think he's almost hoping for guest hosts. So not speaking Steve. Hopefully somebody else will answer this. Anyway, I have some great news to report. Myself, Nancy, and the kids spent the whole weekend together.
Wow, that's a turnaround.
Not bad. Last week, he's living in McDonald's in his car.
On the men's.
And this week, he's doing it. We went for a hike and played at the local park, then strolled around the shopping centre.
What's a shopping centre?
Shopping centre. It's like a shopping centre, but for people that forget to put the H in there. So
what can you buy at a shopping centre?
I don't know, but right now I'm up.
All out of H's.
I'm up Sit Creek right now. Anyway, Nancy wasn't aware that I was there, but I love how you laugh every time something horrible happens to this man. You laugh.
What? Did he write shopping centre or did
you
say shopping centre?
I said shopping centre because I stuffed it up. All right, I admitted that I was wrong.
Gregory.
And I'm saying Nancy wasn't aware that I was there, but I still had a great time watching from my required 100 feet mandated by the restraining order. Once again, that gets giggles out of you, Steve.
I was still laughing at the shopping. That was quality stuff.
Yeah.
I'll be putting that into my bit when I do my stand-up comedy routine.
Yeah? How's that going to go?
I don't know. If I'm relying on shopping centre, I'm probably not too well.
You know what? Write some more material, and we'll just put that one in the maybe pile, okay? You know what? The good thing is about Greg, he's watching from 100 feet away. He's got a restraining order in, but he's still trying. Give him a good old crack. And you know what? He's left this, rather than his normal fucking Steve and Spee, I'm going to kill you and, wear your skin, that he normally writes in. It's just a matter of time before everything goes back to normal. Exciting times ahead. So he seems more upbeat. I'm happy with that.
Yep.
How are you feeling about your mate? That you fucking laugh at his misery.
I'm feeling good for him. I'm good for you, Greg. Half glass full. Don't go past your 100 feet.
No, God, no.
Please no.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know how his job went.
Yeah, because he
I'm
didn't.
curious to know. He
Hasn't
talked
given us
about
an update. Because, I mean,
No.
admittedly, we didn't get the advice to him to go to work on Friday early enough.
No.
But I'm sure he seems upbeat. So, he's got a lot of free time for the sounds of things.
But it was a
But
weekend.
it was a weekend, so
So
maybe things are on the mend.
Okay.
Nancy, if you can write us a letter, if you're still listening, you're probably not now. But if you are, send us a letter in. Let's hear. We want to hear. We want to see how this is going. We may have ruined a life, but we're trying to bring it back together.
yeah, we are.
And speaking of ruined life, Steve,
Yes.
tell me about your exciting times this weekend.
Well, I had a 40th I went to on the weekend.
Yeah.
SB. That's a period of my life I'm at.
Yeah.
You know, we've done the 21st, we've done the 30s, we've done the engagements, we've done the first babies, we've done the weddings.
I'm hoping it went in the other order.
I'm from
We had the
boys.
first babies and then they got engaged and...
That's what happens at my way, Speed. There's a lot of babies born before the old wedding. So we've done all that.
Yeah.
So I'm now ticking over on the 40th.
All right.
Anyway, I was having a bit of a yarn to one of the guests there. I've known for a couple of years. Good guy.
Just a chin wag.
And all right, so I'll try to recap as quickly as possible. But the mighty
Now, pan it out. We don't have much don't have much content today, so just give us the long version.
back in
Steve.
2003,
I sent the toaster to 3, medium brown. Anyway, sorry.
went to 2003. Me and my boy Brett, we were in the States, and a franchise was born, Speed. I think I might have talked about this before.
Yeah.
The mighty SEMO All-Stars.
Right, yeah.
SEMO stands for Conventional Microwave Oven. The reason is because I was referred to as hot plate for a brief moment there.
Is this
by
part
myself.
of your drug problem? Is this why you put the plate in the microwave? Is this all coming full circle,
Well,
Steve?
You figured it out.
Yeah.
You figured it out. Anyway, so we're called SEMO All-Stars. And we have been since 2003, 15th year.
I was a part of the team for a while.
B was definitely part of the team. Had his own jersey and everything.
I did. I even did a wrestling promo in the jersey.
Do you still got it?
Nah.
I'm going to need that one back.
I think I gave it back.
Oh, did you? All right. Now, this is why I might need it back.
Okay.
Because I was talking to this guy at this party.
Are you going to name names or are we just going to...
No, we'll just
Mr. X.
Well, last time I named names, I'm splitting up with his wife and, look at that kind of restraining order.
His name's B. McMahon. Actually, that's too obvious. Make it Brett M.
No, I wasn't chatting to him. I was chatting to another guy, but Brett's definitely implicated.
Oh,
in this.
okay.
All right. So,
There's
anyway,
controversy afoot.
we're chatting away. Now, we went out to Gawler and we played a couple of seasons at Gawler. And even at our old ripened age,
Yeah.
we still made
Seasoned.
veterans. Veterans. Yeah, you get the idea. And we were still making a grand final.
Yep.
And we went down both games actually by 4 or 5 points.
Yep.
But it still showed we were very competitive. Anyway, that was on Tuesday nights, and we wrapped up. We're like, we're not going to field a team next year.
Yeah.
Because there's just not enough interest.
Yeah.
Anyway, chatting with this fella, apparently
Yeah.
SEMO is alive and well.
Right.
Minus one Steve, a.k.a.
Hot plate.
a.k.a.
A.k.a. nose candy. A.k.a. few nose
I
beers.
was gonna go the wrestling blood.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, yeah. A.k.a. nose A.
And apparently they are playing on Monday nights.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Without you.
Without me. Without the... Now...
Without the point guard, the ball... Is it because you are the Russell Westbrook of...
Well, this is what I always thought I was the Jason Kidd, but now maybe I'm the Russell Westbrook
just
man.
a chucker.
Now, look, dude, don't get me wrong. I'm very competitive, and I do rub the people the wrong way.
Yeah.
Those people are usually losers who can't catch a ball. But anyway,
The Jordan comparisons are coming in thick and fast here.
exactly. So, and I was like, well, okay, play it pretty cool.
So now they're playing Monday nights
Monday nights without me.
without you.
Yeah, and even I heard a story the other day that they had 4 players, and I still did not get a call up.
So they'd rather go short-handed than
Right.
have your short ass out there.
Exactly.
That-
Short rounds.
So you know what? This is unprecedented
Yeah.
because there's a player starting 5 votes. SEMO All Stars.
5 votes.
Shit Bloke. What? Do you want to play music again? No.
How can you do it?
Nah, that's right. We
No.
played it once today. But no, 5 votes.
Yeah, I think
SEMO
so.
All Stars. Every starter on that team, even the guy that didn't rock up that day and only had 4,
Yeah.
5 votes.
And you know what? I feel like because he listens, and he's one of my boys,
Yeah.
and he is
Was
one of the
what he was.
Well, interesting.
Yeah.
He is and was a co-founder.
Yeah.
I think he needs to get a vote as well for
Brett.
really not really keeping me up to date with what's
So
going
is
on
this
here.
Brett M or B McMahon?
One for each, man. They both get one.
He's getting Kevin Durant levels of heat.
He is, isn't he? He must be on the leaderboard.
He's up there.
He's got a few.
He's got a couple. I think I've given him one.
Yeah.
But no, there you go. He's up to about 3.
Yeah.
But the boys, they didn't pull their head in. You
Oh
can't.
man, like I'm the chief executive, I'm the chairman of the boards, I'm the presidente, I'm everything, and I'm
Is
not.
it because they didn't want you to come in because it takes too long for you to announce all your nicknames? You're like, what's the name? Apollo Creed in like Rocky 3. He's like,
yes, that's
he's the
right.
Count of Monte Fisto.
Yeah, that's right.
How many of these have you got?
Well, I'm curious to know. Yeah, so basically, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm on the outs. One of my buddies there goes, he actually said, he goes, Steve, you're gonna come out and play for us. We need you out there. I was like, what are you talking about, kind of thing. This is a bit of a thing to me. So I don't know what's going on.
This is a big deal. So we need to find out what's going on. SEMO Gate.
Yeah.
We need to find out what is going on. Was there meetings? Was there,
Oh my goodness, yeah.
You've been stabbed in the back, Steve.
I have. I feel like
and we don't agree on much, but I agree that you are the heart and soul of that team.
I feel like I've been done by not the CMO, the NWO. I feel like I've been like, I went out into the middle of the ring, we done a bit of promo, and someone hit me with a chair, and spray painted me a big NWO on my back, or big CMO on my back.
Because the other thing is, you're the one that brought me and our man Benny into the team, and let's be honest, me and Benny weren't the greatest basketballers of all time. But you carried us, you put your arm around us, you gave us the endorsement. We were your Virgil and Horace Hogan. I'm loving this NWO now.
This is nice.
Because, that was going to be one of my segues. I was going to jump through because, Steve, we're going to talk about a topic that you have the most love-hate relationship with. Now, folks, we need to start discussing wrestling. There's 2 ways it's going to go. Now, a couple episodes ago, you may have heard us try to talk about wrestling, and the look on Steve's face was fucking priceless. He goes from happy to sad that quick. If we are talking about anything like past maybe 2003.
Right.
It's all about 2003,
I'd
isn't
say
it,
so,
Steve?
yeah.
That was really your peak. That was your...
It never got better after that.
Of course it got better.
Besides with the babies.
Yeah, exactly. The great, amazing Sophia Mania is still
By the way,
right.
Sophia
Yes.
did her grading the other day.
Yeah.
Now, she smashed it.
Yeah.
Right? But this is the funny thing. I think it doesn't matter if she smashed it or if she stood there with a finger up her nose.
Yeah.
I think she's always going to get that orange belt. I think it comes down to if you've turned up to enough lessons and if you paid the dollars
check
on the
cleared,
back.
there's your belt.
So, yeah, I just...
you know what? She fought for it. She earned it. She's the best around.
Yeah.
We're not hearing any Sophia slander
No, we
on
certainly
this
won't.
podcast.
No way.
But no, we're going to go back to a great time in wrestling. We're not going to talk about any of the new stuff, because I know Steve gets bristles up when we start discussing anything new. Although I did watch SummerSlam this week, and Ronda Rousey was amazing. The rest of the show, meh. But Ronda Rousey, I'm a big rap for.
Yep.
Officially named her Goro, the way she just like doing those judo throws on people. She like grabs their legs and just slaps them around. It's the fucking best.
Yeah.
But we are going to go back to a time, because I've been watching a lot of the older stuff, because we're listening to this podcast called 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff. So it goes into the notorious 83 weeks where Nitro beat Monday Night Raw on Mondays in late 97 or early 97 through to mid 98.
Yeah.
So it's a great podcast, because this is my childhood. Like I grew up, like it was like around the time I was like, 13, 14, 15. And there you sort of like what you find cool then is going to be cool forever. And so with the help of the wonderful WWE Network, which big shout out to Ron Herbstreit for letting me use your login, because I'm a massive fucking tight ass. And even though it's like, what, $9.99 a month, I'm still not paying it. I don't even have internet at home, for fuck's sake. I watch it while I'm at work. I use the work Wi-Fi on Rowan's account to get my fix. But I've been going back and watching some of those old matches, and I was just wondering, Steve, because this is an important promotion for you, WCW.
Oh, yeah.
This started your re-emergence of the love of wrestling. It also led to you finding the love of your life.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
What was, and this is, it's a very, and I'm throwing it out at you, not a lot of preparation time, but just off the top of your dome, top 3 WCW matches and why? So it can be from TV, it can be from pay-per-view or whatever, but just what were your favourite 3 matches and why?
Well, it's funny. Nitro was it, like you said, it was
actually before that, Steve. So can we just answer that phone call, because we get a live phone call and we put him on loudspeaker if we can. We've actually had
man,
our first phone-in guest.
I'm gonna put you on loudspeaker, man, because we're recording, bro.
Yeah, just chuck him on. Here we go, Brett.
live right now.
You're on the podcast. Get some words in, mate.
Gee, what an honour. I just can't believe I've stumbled into this greatness.
Well, the thing is, you haven't heard the show yet, so you were potted somewhat earlier, but I'm glad that you called. Your ears must have been burning. Huh?
I heard your 52 other shows, and about 2 of them were good, so you must be on to something.
Well, thanks for the vote of confidence, Gabriel. That was Brett McMahon.
Did you get another vote for that?
Yeah, I think you're almost going to get another vote for that one, Brett.
Excellent.
I love it. What are you talking about today?
As always, Steve's love of WCW and how much we hate basketball.
We'll call you back. This live segment, I'm not sure if it's going to go very well, so I'll call you back. Later.
So that's going to be fun for the podcast. Let's see how that goes. That may play, that may not. We have this thing now on the show. We don't edit shit. People walk in, people do this. We're just going to let it ride.
Yeah.
Okay? So, but Steve, go back to you.
We're being very blasé.
We are being very
about
blasé.
it. Yeah, so we are. You like that?
That's how rebellious we are.
Yeah.
We're rebelling against the title of this very show.
Exactly. So the WCW, I legitimately had those old Nitro parties.
Yeah.
Now, I was the only one enjoying myself at those parties. Everyone else was kind of there by, force of my my wrath. But I'm starting to realise why I was left out of the basketball team.
It's falling into place now, isn't it?
Yeah. So, so I watched a lot of WCW, and you're right, they were great days. And thank you for giving me a bit of a heads up. So I have had an opportunity to have a quick think about it. And my 3 matches, I was nailing them out, and we'll have a bit of a yarn about it. One was Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man Randy Savage.
That's a huge shock to me.
1996 at Halloween Havoc.
Yeah.
The reason is because that was pretty much the start of the reloving of wrestling. I hadn't watched it for a few years, and the wife had got me back onto it, or the future wife had got me onto it. So to watch Hogan Macho, I don't know if the match was any good, but I remember being just like, wow, this is amazing.
Now, had Hogan turned heel this day?
He was bad, but he came through the crowd of the Giant, and he was wearing this blonde wig.
Oh, yeah, he had the buzz cut wig that he used to film in the movie. He used to film all those really shitty TNT movies.
Exactly. So he came in with that.
Best.
He was the Hollywood. You know, and he came in, and he ended up coming off, obviously, and Macho put it on, which was a pretty cool little moment. But yeah, that was really cool. And then Piper came out at the end.
Yeah.
And then, so that set up for a second match, or another match with Starrcade, where, it was sort of like the water settle score 2 kind of thing.
Yep.
So that was number 1. Number 2 was during the NWO days. This match I probably rewound and watched probably 50 times. I loved it. It was mid-97. It was just a...
Sorry, that just got me excited for rewound.
I rewound it. And because I was all about the reaction. And I still am all just about the reactions. But it was Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, the Outsiders, versus Lex Luger and DDP.
Yep.
And they were the 2 hot guys at the time. And what happened was there's a big thing at the end. So Nash and Hall were doing the dirty, and then all of a sudden, Luger gets the hot tag. He starts clearing house, and Six runs out, and Conan runs out. I think it was, and a couple of the NWO guys.
You mean a main event on Nitro ended at a giant schmoz?
It was
unheard of.
It was so good because this was a point where NWO was just doing it all the time, and no one really fought back. And then you hear Shivani go, "Is anyone going to step up for WCW?" And Ric Flair and Giant runs out.
Yeah.
And it was the first time that I really saw Giant and Nash go toe-to-toe.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
So that was number 2. The third match, speaking of Nash, was the match when he ended Goldberg's streak.
Whoa.
In 98 Starrcade.
Yeah, 98 Starrcade.
Which was, once again, I'm not sure how good the match was. I remember the start was awesome. Yeah. And Nash was pretty hot going in. He just won the big Battle Royale thing and World War III, and that was just amazing. And I had a real good bet. The end was pretty shitty. I know they had to sort of make it look like Goldberg can't really lose fairly, but he had that's when Scott Hall had the cattle prod, and he shocked him, and then he got the big power bomb for the win. But I just remember being so excited because Kevin Nash was my guy, Goldberg lost, and yeah, so that were my 3 matches off the top of my head. And it was an amazing time.
It was a good time. But
what happened is that was in 98, 99, and all of a sudden my friends stopped popping over in fewer numbers because they found those things were nightclubs.
Oh, right. And girls.
Girls, and I was locked in with pretty settled in with the missus at the time, and I was more interested in watching dudes,
Pretend to fight.
pretend to fight.
No, I was the same. Like, I mean, I was too young for the club scene and stuff. But even though my friends would still have the parties on Saturday night, someone's parents not home, let's all go around to their place, But I was like, nah, man, I might come after and watch Night, because Nitro was on Saturday night.
It was amazing
on TNT, and I just remember it was always funny because it was like the most out of place thing on that channel, because that channel was just old movies, like old black and white movies,
yeah,
just
right.
old movies. All of a sudden, it'd be like 2 hours of Nitro, and like fire going off and everything. It was like, this is fucking unreal.
Yeah, it was so cool, man.
So, sort of not like my favourite three, but just the three off the top of my head. Like I said, haven't put a lot of thought into this. There was a tag match and things. I don't remember everyone in the tag match, but it was the same thing. It was a 6-man tag. It was Hall, Nash, and Six. So right, against Arn, Ric Flair, and I can't remember who the third one was. No, it wasn't Mongo.
It wasn't? No, Benoit maybe?
Maybe Benoit, but it was like, it was a 3-on-3, but it was in North Carolina.
Flair country.
Flair country. Yeah, like Horseman country. So just the reactions to everything were just out of control. Like, it was just a simple thing. Like, Nash would try to hit someone from behind, and Flair would turn around and look at him, and then he'd back up, and then it was just like, whoa, like the greatest reaction. You'd be like, they didn't even do anything. But it was just like, the reactions to it were just incredible. And like, another one that I'll chuck in there.
Actually, before you go on to just for the wrestling uninitiated, just to give you context on how big Ric Flair was, because, I don't think he gets enough credit, but Michael Jordan, we're talking about North Carolina.
Yeah.
And that's being Flair country.
Yeah.
Michael fucking Jordan. Yeah. Old Mick.
Yeah, because he's a
numero
hack.
uno.
Flat out hack. Yeah. Like, let's compare apples with apples here. One's Ric Flair and one's Michael Jordan. Come on. Like, everyone knows Michael Jordan is the Ric Flair of basketball. And always has been.
Well done.
But no, the next one was, like, I rewatched, thanks to Ron, rewatched Spring Stampede 98. Because I remember this one. This is the first time we'd had a pay-per-view, like, that I went to my friend Chris's house on a Monday night, and we watched the replay of the pay-per-view. Because it was always funny, because back in the day, this is sort of before the internet sort of blew up, so you just watched what you got on TV, and that's all you knew. Now, for some reason, there was a fucking 2-week delay on everything that would be on, like, so remember Nitro was always 2 weeks late. Like 2 weeks late.
Yeah.
And so then pay-per-view would be on at the start of the month, and then it would be like, oh, this has happened in the last 2 weeks. You're like, oh, I haven't seen it yet.
I remember.
And then you'd watch the pay-per-view, and then for the next 2 weeks you'd be watching catching up. Like, oh, I already know what happens to that pay-per-view. So it's frustrating.
That's hilarious. That's right.
But the Spring Stampede one, which, like, the main event was awesome. It was Macho and Sting. And it was when they first did the split of the NWO from normal NWO to Wolfpack. So that was really, really cool. But the match that won it for me was the match between DDP and Raven. Now, I just love, because like I said, I'd come from the hokey 90s into now what was late 90s, and then everything was different. And so then this match was the first time I'd seen a match, and it sounds weird, but it was the first time I'd seen a match that had gone everywhere. And they fought out through the crowd, and they're hitting each other like with chairs and tables, and whipping him into they had the stage set up, looked like a barn and stuff. Throwing each other into that.
That was so cool. Why don't they do that anymore, man? That was so cool, man.
Because they just do the same thing all the time.
Yeah, it looks like Big Raw.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
But then the funniest thing was, like, this is like the first time I remember seeing it. So like, it's like, the first time you hear a bad joke, you're like, it's funny. And then next time, a couple of times you hear it, you're like, I'm sick of that joke. But it was the first time I'd seen someone in a hardcore match get hit with the kitchen sink.
Brilliant.
And so it's just like, they got everything, including the kitchen sink. And then, like, my 14-year-old mind was just fucking blown like, that is the funniest thing ever. This is great. Yeah. And I just remember, like I said, that one always stayed with me. Now, I can rewatch the match. Be honest, not as good as I remember it.
Okay, as it happens.
But it created, I just remember that memory of that night watching, as I said, first time I'd ever seen a pay-per-view. And I just thought that match was just the shit. And the last one, and sounds weird, but to have DDP twice in my...
Yeah.
But the DDP Goldberg match from Halloween Havoc in 98. So that match was just incredible. And that was the one, like I said, didn't watch the pay-per-view, but we all got it because, as the story goes, the feed went long.
Yeah,
or something. Right. They went overtime and it got cut off. So then they had to replay it the next night on Raw. So you got to see the main event without having to pay for it, which was fucking sweet.
Yeah.
But that was just a really good match, and I really enjoyed that. It was probably the best match Goldberg ever had. And yeah, just... as much as, like, cause I didn't understand, this, I wish I almost could go back to the time. It's almost like if you're a magician and you know how all the tricks work, and you go to a magic show, you're kind of like, it takes a lot to really sort of impress you.
Yeah,
I didn't realize back in the day that apparently, as far as sort of wrestlers go and work, like DDP's no good. And everyone just ragged it. But when I was a kid, I fell for it. I fell for it hook, line, and sinker. I thought it was great. And so much so that it always surprised me when they had that tag match with DDP and Karl Malone versus Rodman and Hogan. And the whole match, the crowd's cheering for Hogan and Rodman, and they're booing Karl Malone and DDP. And I'm thinking, but they're the good guys.
That's right.
I never understood it. I was still 14, 15 at this stage. But for the life of me, I couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
And it's funny listening to this podcast now because, as we knew, like you said, Rodman was a honorary member of the NWO.
Yeah.
He'd turn up every now and then on Nitro. He was missing training for the NBA Finals with the Chicago Bulls to go to a wrestling show. When you're a kid, you're like, that's cool, let's do this. Rodman, you think of it now, being the NBA fans that we are now, this is our man J.R. Smith decided, I'm part of DX for this week. I'm gonna go to WWE. I'm not gonna go train with the Cavs. You're Draymond all of a sudden deciding, I'm not gonna go train with the Warriors. I'm gonna go, fight in the UFC for a week.
Yeah.
It was just we just thought it was cool. We didn't understand the ramifications of it as kids, but now I look back at it, it's that is that the craziest probably athlete story you can think of?
Even when he was smoking cigars in the jacuzzi or on the couch, and it was an amazing time. See, Jordan carried that fucking ball team, man. He had this Scottie Pippen who could barely even walk, and he had this Dennis Rodman.
Well, because he couldn't walk, because he's carrying an absolute hog.
He had a bad back, and then he got fucking Dennis Rodman who's just partying with Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan. Jordan beat those. Karl Malone and all them on his own.
Well, it turns out Karl Malone's not good. I saw him wrestle. He's not that good.
That match wasn't the worst match. You know what was the worst match?
What?
Was a month later.
Oh, the Jay Leno one, yeah.
And they went, well, let's go to the next level here. Put Jay Leno in the match, and he had Hulk Hogan in this headlock.
No, it was the wrist lock.
The wrist lock. Oh,
Jay Leno had Hulk Hogan in a wrist lock for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it going, this is going for a long time. And this is something that I steal to this day. And they talked about it once, and he goes, Jay Leno goes, but did you see anyone miss the photo?
Yeah,
everyone got the photo. And so Hogan sat in this wrist lock for 2 minutes to make sure that every photographer got the photo. And I got asked this question the other day when I wrestled. Someone said, I said to him, it's not so much, I said one of the young lads, it's not so much, we work with reactions. It's not so much what you do, it's what you do leading into it to get everyone excited for the move, and what you do after the move that really gets the reaction. And I said, when I go for my top rope elbow? He goes, yeah. He goes, you know how I always slap the pad twice before I go up? And he goes, yeah. And I said, have you noticed that I sit up there for a while and look around at the crowd? He goes, yeah, I was wondering why you do that. I said, now, when you watch the highlight videos or stuff on Instagram and this and that, I said, does anyone ever miss my finish, or do they get it from the start to the finish? And he goes, yeah, they always seem to get the full video. And he goes, I said, yep, I'm literally watching people pull their phones. That's how bad it's gotten in society now. While I'm wrestling, I will sit on the rope, watch people get their phones out, because everyone wants to capture everything. No one wants to just enjoy everything in the moment. And I know people are going to pull their phones out. Before I drop my top rope elbow, I will look into the crowd, watch people get their phones out, get their phones ready, and then I'll jump. It's ridiculous, but it works.
Wow, that's better than my phone story in the wrestling. Have I ever told you about my phone story in wrestling? When I literally heard someone's message go off.
See, I don't know that, because usually people are cheering during my matches.
Yeah. It was.
Sorry, I was too busy winning.
Don't use Adam Sandler jokes if you're going to continue bagging me out. No, that was a funny story. Just real quick. I'm not sure if I said it before, but me and my friend Benny, we'd just come back for the first match. We hadn't had a match for 6 months.
Yeah.
And long story short, we got sent out there doing something we didn't want to do.
Yep.
And we fucked up a couple times.
Yep.
And I'll put my hand up. It was kind of more me than Benny. And it was so quiet.
Yeah.
It was definitely quiet.
Yeah.
That someone's phone in those days goes, beep, 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 beep. And we heard it. And we literally... I think we stopped and turned around and said, put on fucking silent or something. It was so
there was someone answering their phone sorry, I got to call you back. I'm in the middle of a Blazer match. We've got to be quiet.
Blazer versus Booster, month match.
Someone else is looking at me. Shh.
It was so bad. And we were like, should we take it home? And then some guy goes, yes, take it home. We heard you, you jerk. Oh, it was so bad. I think that was the beginning of the end for me.
I think we might have been his big young man, Big J. Jared, we might need to have some more interest music because Steve's been looking for a new segment. We could almost start a segment. Funny things that happen when Steve's having a bad match. Because I think he's got a few stories. If we can get some theme music for that. Because I think you've got a few stories you can run us by. I mean, we've all had bad matches. I can tell you a few. But I always know that Steve gets very excited. You get more excited telling me about the shit matches you've had than when like things can go well. And this is not knocking Steve. Like Steve did have a lot of great matches and stuff like that. And got some great reactions and things were very, very good. But it's almost like you don't appreciate those times, you know? Like you only like when I can watch back a match that I've had, I don't look at the things I've done well. I always go, "Oh, that was shit. That was shit."
Definitely.
You appreciate the bad stuff more than the good. And I think we should almost start a new segment. Things that have gone wrong in a blase match.
I'll give you another freebie for just now. And this isn't a match, but I was out signing autographs during the show, and someone said, Buster! I was like, motherfucker's blase, motherfucker. You ain't getting an autograph, motherfucker. Oh, no.
Well, that's why, you know, like, you shouldn't even be blase.
No, I shouldn't be.
Turns out no one wants to be blase.
No one wants to be blase. So in my life.
Well, that's going to be us for this week, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed that. We've had a few bit of feedback for the bet for the Lakers winning over 46.
Yes.
So we're going to keep taking your suggestions. I had to give you a good suggestion so far.
Yeah, we got till April.
Keep sending them in. We're happy with those. But for this week, that's going to be us. For Speed Caruana saying goodbye. For Steve Burrows. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Sorry, Blase's doing his closer. And we'll speak to you next week. Peace.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to OzcastNetwork.com for details.